of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Don't be afraid to take the baby steps. It's another day, don't forget, 'cause just a prayer away. Don't give up now, trust the process and keep learning. And if you need a friend, we're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, 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 together as a family in faith and melody. Welcome back, everyone. This is INCRadio's Faith and Melody, where we have deep, rich, and life-affirming conversations and listen to inspiring Iglesia ni Cristo original music. It's often said that, friends are chosen family, and true friends are a blessing from God. So, what kind of friends do you surround yourself with? And join us today as we explore what it takes to build a strong and meaningful friendship in this busy world. I'm Belle from the United Kingdom.
And I'm Jay from Australia. And yes, Belle and I will be your hosts for today's broadcast. So we're very excited for all of you to join us in our discussion. So let's go ahead and get this show started by listening to the first song on our playlist for today, which is titled Kamusta na kayo? So let's go ahead and play that song, Kutek.
Kumusta na kayo mga kapatid? Ayos ba naman kayo? Kayo bang lahat ay masigla pa rin at di nalalamig? Wag mangyari na tayo ay maiwanan. Lagi tayong makikipagkaisa sa gawain ng iglesia. Kumusta na kayo mga kapatid? May akay na ba kayo? Ito'y taon ng pagbubunga, lahat tayo'y sumulong na. Tayo'y magpatuloy pa sa kasakdalan upang ang buhay na walang hanggan ay tunay na ating makamtan. Kumusta na kayo mga kapatid? May akay na ba kayo? Ito'y taon ng pagbubunga, lahat tayo'y sumulong na. Tayo'y magpatuloy pa sa kasakdalan upang ang buhay na walang hanggan ay tunay na ating makamtan.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is INC Radio's Faith and Melody, and Jane Bell here on the show hosting for today's broadcast. And if you're watching us live, there in the Philippines in our main studio, it is currently 12:06 a.m. So happy midnight to everyone that's watching us live over there in the Philippines on this Monday morning, well, Tuesday morning for you, right there in the Philippines. So later on the show, we're talking about true friends that are blessings from God, the friends who are not only there for the happy moments, but even to call you out when you're doing wrong. So that's later on today's topic, a true friend in all seasons. But before we dive into our discussion, let's kick everything off first with our kickoff chat.
Kickoff chat.
So, Belle, what do we have for our kickoff chat?
So for our kickoff chat today, it'll be a simple question, but I don't know if it's gonna be easy. So let's go. So how
Oh,
do you
Belle,
make
actually,
friends?
before we do go with
Oh,
our question, right? I think
yeah.
we should introduce someone that we've got joining us. Since our topic today is about friends in particular, we have a new friend that's joined us here on the panel. So, Belle, why don't you go ahead and introduce our friend that's just joined us on the panel today?
So here today we have Chanel Manalili. I don't know where she's coming from, but yes, we have a new guest here.
We want to know
Would
about
like
it, right?
to introduce herself.
Hi everyone on INC Radio. I'm Chanel Manalili, like Belle said, and I am all the way here in Frankfurt, Germany, and it's currently 6 p.m. on our side. And fun fact, I am a very good friend of Belle's ate or big sister, Erica. So hi, everyone, I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. I didn't know that. Nice to meet you, though. But yes, well, since you are our guest for today, maybe you can answer this one first. So, how do you make a friend?
Oh, for me, how do I make a friend? I'm known as a neighborhood extrovert back home. So, really, if there's a new face, I just walk up to them and say hi. Or I compliment them. I start with a compliment first and then kind of keep going from there and have a conversation.
Oh, that's really nice. I mean, I think I can get really shy. So it depends on the situation and on the person, of course, that you're trying to approach. But I always try to make small talk. I think that's like small steps before you get to know the person. And of course, like you exchange name, of course, or like you're saying, "Oh wait, I've seen you in that activity," or like just small conversation to get the person interested in you, or vice versa. But yes, I think it's just sometimes I get really shy, like right now. But yes, I always try to, make conversation. I think that's the easiest way to make a friend, so that you can figure out if you have things in common. But yes, what about you, Jade? How do you make friends, or are you more on the shy type?
I'm very excited to have Chanel here because she said that she's the neighborhood extrovert, whereas I'm the opposite. I'm the introvert, the one that's very shy. She approaches people. I'm very shy to approach people, especially people that I haven't been introduced to. So I am very excited to find out how to make friends on today's show. But I think one of the things for me that helps that I've realize is if we share similar interests like hobbies or some passions and something, right? Then that's a way for me to connect with someone and for the friendship to start, right? To make friends with someone is like you either gotta like cars or you gotta like food. I think everybody loves food. You
Yes.
gotta like something or anything that kind of like it's the same thing that I like. It's always a great way to start off a friendship. And speaking of, I think we've got someone that's just joined. I'm not sure if she's ready to say hello as well, but we've got somebody that's popped in our broadcast. Is our ate Eric?
Good afternoon. Actually, good evening from here in the UK. I love seeing Chanel. Hi, long time no see. I joined just to quickly say hi. I just got off work and I miss you guys. Thank you for having me for a bit here on Faith and Melody.
Well, we're asking a question, Erica. In terms
Yes.
of this quick off chat question is, how do you make a friend? So you're an extrovert as well,
Well,
I take it.
I think, I mean, the common way for me is to just go to the person and be like, "Hey, my name is Erica. What's your name?" But then there's like other ways, and the funniest ways. You know how you make friends, and every friendship is like starts in a different way, and it's so nice to. Okay, I'm blabbing already. I just started the show. But yes, for me, I make friends like that. Normally, I would just come up to the person and be like, "Hi, I'm Erica. What's your name? Or where do you come from?" You know, especially in church activities.
That's okay. I mean, like that's one thing that I'm always afraid of, approaching somebody. I always need someone to come and approach me. So hopefully I can from by the end of today's broadcast, I can help you guys can all help me overcome that shyness, especially when meeting new people. So even if I met Chanel, Belle, or Erica in person, right? Even if I would meet you in person for the first time, I don't know if I would go up to you. Just saying. Just saying. Because
Wow.
I'm that shy. I'm that shy,
No
right?
worries. We'll be ready to go to you.
There's just some people like that, and I feel like I'm one of them. I just feel yeah, I don't want yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that later in our discussion. But before we continue, let's go ahead, Belle. Why don't we let me just give a quick shout out to some of our viewers, some of our Ohana that's there in our live chat. That's saying hello to us. We have Carolyn Shank, of course, one of our Faith and Melody Ohana, which is saying hello. And she says, I start with a smile and then a hi. I'm Ate Care. I'm super extrovert. I feel like a lot of our viewers are extroverts. And I'm like the only introvert here. So we'll see how it goes throughout the show. And then we also got Zenaida Novestera saying, greetings from Midtown Toronto, district of Greater Toronto, that's saying hello to us there in our live chat. And if any one of our viewers or listeners right now want to request a song, one of the INC original music that maybe is your favorite, let us know in our live chat and we'll get our Kuya Nico and our Kuya Irene, who's helping us out there in the main studio to find those songs and get that played for you. But yes, what else? What else do you guys do to make a friend? Let's go to Erica because I know she's like sort of walking and before she gets caught up with anything else. What's another way that you make a friend apart from just saying hi?
Okay. So, do you want to hear about the random ways? Okay. So, I think one of the things I do remember most of the time is that whenever there's like activities or like, get-togethers with friends and families, and of course, like there's times where you don't know everybody, right? And so I love sharing food. So instead of introducing myself, I'd be like, "Oh, would you like this?" Or like, you know what I mean? Or if I kind of find out that they're the ones who prepared it, I go and compliment what they've done. That's one way. Or another way is like for me, I still remember the funniest ways I made friends because I'm very extroverted and I'm very curious. I do like I do mind my own business now. But what should we call it? One of the ways I remember is I really, really like this pin on my friend. Like he's my friend now. But uh, I think we were in a like in an event or something. I don't recall. But when I saw the pin, I just really liked it that I forgot to introduce myself. And so I went straight and said, "Oh, where did you get that pin? And then he was just like, hi, my name is, and then he introduced himself. And I just realized that I just went straight up asking without even, like saying, hi, I'm Erica. Oh, just wondering, So those are like it's funny for me because it can be in different ways. As long as, like Ate Kara has mentioned, you go there with a smile. It's easy to start a conversation with them. See you, and they're like like grumpy and stuff. You're like, okay. So yeah, I've been breaking the ice so much. Please help. Talk.
That goes to show that you really are an extrovert. And it's not a bad thing. It's just like really contrasting, like next to me.
I feel like it's easier for extroverts, right, Belle? To kind of like just get out of their comfort zone. And I don't think extroverts are shy. I think that's what one of the characteristics of extrovert. Chanel, are you shy? Would you consider yourself shy or not really?
I do have my moments, so yes, I can be shy.
But most of the time, you're just very much like putting yourself out there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think like especially when on the times that I am shy, but I really want to make friends, it helps that I'm quite observant. So let's say we're in a group setting and I see a new face and I want to approach them, but I'm not feeling as confident or I'm feeling very shy. I observe what they're doing, or I try to see if they have any unique fashion going on, and from there I'm like, okay, I think I can see something that we can talk about. So I just go up and say, hey, I really like your shoes. They're really nice. And, go up from there. So even if you're feeling very shy, just try to observe and see what you can talk about with that person. Just go from there. Just do it.
I feel like I'm going to get a lot of good tips here, but complimenting is always, I guess that's always a good way to break the ice as well, right? When you compliment something that they have. But we do have a lot more to go on in our topic. So before we get too caught up with the conversation about friends, we're gonna close up this little quick segment of Kickoff Chat. So thank you to everyone that participated, especially during our live chat. That's been our Kickoff Chat. So can we get our closing bumper for this segment?
Kickoff Chat.
All right, so don't go anywhere. We're going to get into our topic discussion, but first we're going to take a quick break. This probably would really quick. We're going to just play 2 songs for you, which will be titled Kindness. And then the second song has been actually requested by our very own executive producer, Des Acenas, Sister Des Acenas, of course, is requesting the song Give Praise to Him. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back with our topic after this break.
Always be K-I-N-D to everyone that we meet. Greet all with a smile every day and all the time. Treat everyone with love the way that God loves us. Kindness comes from the heart. With kindness we must start. With all that we do and say, show kindness every day. K-I-N-D, that's what we should always be. K-I-N-D, to everyone that we meet. Kindness comes from the heart. With kindness we must start. With all that we do and say, show kindness every day. Greet all with a smile every day and all the time. Treat everyone with love the way that God loves us. Kindness, kindness, show our kindness.
favorites, Faith and Melody Heartbeats.
Be on guard and stay alert. Always pray. Now is not the time to give up and go astray. We've come so far and we're close to the end. Glorify our Lord God. Put all our trust in Him. Each of us has a task at hand that we should fulfill. Serve our Lord God faithfully. Give praise to Him. Be active in His works. Do good at all times. Share faith with the world. Let the truth be known to men. Trust Him with all our hearts. Don't be afraid. He will calm us with His love. He'll make us brave. But don't go the wicked ways. Always do what's right. Give yourself to our Lord God. Completely renew our lives. We've come so far and we're close to the end. Glorify our Lord God. Put all our trust in Him. Glorify our Lord God.
Your requested song, our favorites, Faith and Melody Heartbeats.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed those first few songs that we played for you. And yes, let's go now on to our topic for today, which is a true friend in all seasons. So, yeah, earlier we talked about how to make friends, you know. So, since we are capable of making friends, um, what do you find in a friend? How do you define a good friend? Oh, but before anything, let's also introduce here um a a guest here. Apart from Chanel here, we also have another guest here joining us. I don't know if he's ready to turn on his camera and join us, but yes, if you could kindly introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi, Ate Abel. Hi, PJ. Ate Chanel. Yeah, sorry, I'm at work, so that's the airplane right now, picking off. But I'm
Oh,
better than going to the local voice to the ship of voice. Hello, everybody.
Hello, that's so that's so nice. And thank you for joining us even though you have a busy schedule, you know. But yes, since you are joining us right now, I don't know if you're able to answer this, but how do you define a good friend?
Define a good friend. They're there for you, and basically, I don't know. They're there for you no matter what. Even though you're mad at them, they'll just come and give you some food to make you happy.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that really is a good friend though. But yes, let's see. Um, Chanel, do you know any like do you have anything in particular that stands out to you when it comes to a good friend?
Yes, but before I answer that question, I do want to say that Kuya Delmar is an amazing friend. And I'm so happy to see him on because it's been so long since I talked to him, since we caught up. I see him on social media every now and then, and now he has a kid. And I'm gonna cry because I'm so happy to see Kuya Delmar because he's an amazing big brother figure to me, and he's pretty much been with me since the start of like since I started going on radio, which is like a couple years already.
Wow.
But if I do want to say what is a good friend or someone that will be there for you no matter how long time has passed, even though you haven't talked to each other, you haven't seen each other. As soon as you meet each other again, it's you just pick up like back to normal, back to business, and that's how I'm feeling right now, seeing Kuya Delmar, and I'm just getting all these overwhelming emotions because, oh, hi Kuya Delmar, I miss you.
Miss you too.
Oh, that's so lovely. At least we have two actual friends that you've seen each other in person. Oh, that's so nice. It's a little reunion then. The world is so small. The world is so small. The world is such a small place. Is that what you say? I'm so tired. Is that the
You're right. You're right, Well. And the funny thing is, I think Erica set this up to be a little mini reunion. So she was like, all right, we're going to surprise them. And a little side note for our guests, wondering how does a girl all the way in Germany make friends with someone all the way in Hawaii? The easy answer is I'm originally from Hawaii, and that's how I know Kuya Delmar. And I actually just moved here to Germany, so I'm still making friends here. I'm in the process, so I think this topic is very timely, and especially for those who are in similar situations. So yeah, that's my side note. How about you, Bella? I'm not sure if you've already defined what makes a good friend, or what are some qualities that you find in a good friend.
Well, all the qualities that you and Delmer just mentioned are really like they're really good points. And for me, as someone who is really genuine, they have no reason behind being kind to you. You know, it's not something they're not doing something to be transactional with you. You're like, oh, I'm being kind to you, so you need to be kind to me back. Someone who really looks out for you, has your back, and you don't have to ask for them to have your back. It's like as simple as, for example, you're at a Filipino party. You know how Filipino parties are like, birthday parties have a lot of food, have a lot of desserts and all that stuff. So there was this time where I was still eating my main dish, like like rice with something else. And my friends, like one of my ates, already finished. And I didn't have to ask her, but she still got like a slice of cake for me, knowing that it was gonna finish soon because I mean everyone loves cake and love this Filipino desserts. So she still got a slice for me, even though I didn't ask her and I was still eating my main dish. So I was like, oh, that really that really, that really made me feel happy because I felt really considered and like, wow, like you do that when you really care for someone, and it can be the smallest of things or the most simple thing ever, but that really touched my heart. So yeah, someone who is really genuine and considerate, and they look out for you for real. But yes, what about you, Jay? Do you have any other qualities that you look
I
for in
thought
a
you were
friend?
gonna ask if I have any friends.
No.
I'm the introvert here. I feel like Manang Delmar is also an extrovert. I'm surrounded by extroverts. But I feel like for me, one thing that makes me excited to have somebody as a friend is if they're excited to have me as a friend. So like when you see each other, like they just light up more, I guess. So if you're all extroverts, you light up even more. You take it to like one notch up, right? So it's like someone that wants to know you genuinely, kind of like what you said, Belle, like being authentic about it, like no other motives. They just want to know you because they're interested in you. And that's why I was saying if they're interested in things that I'm interested in, like photography, like videography, or like, anime or things like that, right? Like we could talk about, I know that I've been kind of making friends because I love Japan and we've been a few times. So whenever somebody is, especially if it's going to be their first time visiting Japan, I can just talk and talk and talk. So even though I'm an introvert, there are certain topics that are kind of like my ways for you to connect with me. If you even know what those topics are, if you can like get that out of me, I can just talk and talk and talk and be almost like an extrovert. So I think it's that. It's like if somebody is genuinely interested about something that you're passionate about, you're interested in, especially if me myself is an introvert and a bit more in the shy side of things when making connections with people. Yeah, you can get me. You ask me about Japan, and I will just talk your ear off for many hours. So I think a good friend is somebody that kind of like shares something similar. But another thing, of course, I think very important that I've learned over the years is somebody that's loyal, right? Somebody that you can trust, right? Somebody that doesn't break your trust, especially up to the point when you start sharing um, things with them that they don't break that trust and like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's basically being trustworthy is one of those things that
Yes.
I would define a good friend.
Yeah, and with what you mentioned about uh someone being loyal and like looking for loyalty in a friendship. So what do you actually value in a friendship? Apart from loyalty, of course, that you just mentioned here. What do you look for in a friendship? Not from the person itself, but like, from the connection that you both have. Let's see. Yeah, Jay, you can continue on maybe if you want.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about like what's the things that I value from a friendship?
Yes.
For me, it would be definitely the whole loyalty thing. So respect and honesty with each other. Especially when you like for me, I can count my close. Like I have friends or I have acquaintances, right? People that I know, especially if you're talking about work and people that that you work with. But then in terms of friends that I would consider like really close friends that I would go to and kind of if I've got problems or things that I want to talk to them, I want to be able to vent to someone too. I could count those friends in the palm of, in one hand, basically. There's very few of them where I would go to them, especially if I'm facing a problem or if things aren't just going right. There's only very few friends that I would consider that type of friend where I would approach them and share that kind of thing with them. So respect, honesty, and trust is very, very important to me. That's what I value the most in friendship. Respect with one another, respect with our boundaries, right? So even though you're friends, there are eventually your boundaries with each other overlaps, but you still have to respect each other's boundaries, and then just being honest with each other as well. That's something that I've learned is very important. Actually, we've got here in our chat, we've got a few comments, Belle, and I want to read this one out really quick because we got our Kuya Rod Kahayag there, of course, in the chat. And he says here, transparency is important and be real, right? Being real and being transparent with everything. I think a lot of people, when they first meet, and my extroverted friends here in the panel, you can confirm this with me or not. Do you feel like when you first meet someone, you always have a bit of a wall or a barrier? Like you don't divulge everything, right? There's certain things that you protect and you kind of like have a persona first. And then after you get to know the other person, that's when the walls come down a little bit more and then you be more your normal self. Is that something that you've experienced, Chanel? Is that something that happens to you? Do you say like when you first meet someone, it's kind of like you're a little bit more guarded, even though you're an extrovert, but then the closer you get to them, It's like, yeah, they get to know the real you more.
No, you said it perfectly, Jay. And most definitely, I think I've actually learned to build that skill the older I got. Because when I was younger, of course, I'm just ask me anything and I'm out there. And I still very much am very open and very honest about who I am and, our values and all of that. But as I got older, of course, you should learn to be guarded, especially when you're meeting new people, because you never know. As members of the Church of Christ, we all pretty much have the same values, that we should be respectful, loyal, and honest with anyone that we meet. And we're always surrounded by people who aren't just our friends inside the church, but also friends at school or friends at work. So it's always best to put your best foot forward. And like you said, your walls will eventually come down the more you get to know this person as well. And if this is someone that you see you can build a genuine friendship with, then of course from there you can build something beautiful, create a beautiful friendship. So my advice to the younger ones on making friends, I would say, don't put all your cards on the table. Just it's okay to be guarded. Just slowly,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I've found that not a lot of people connect with my humor. I've got a different type of humor compared to some, and there's certain things like that, right? But I don't know if our Manong Delmar can add to this in terms of what he values in friendship, especially he's got a lot more experience when it comes to life with us. So, right, Manong Del?
Okay, sure. What was the question? Sorry.
So what's important to you? Like what's the thing that you value when it comes with friends? What do you value
Uh,
most?
Mostly basically what all you guys said. If anything, they got my back, and as long as I got their back, they got my back. Me and my best man, we went down, we went down so much times. We got in trouble back in the day, but we always had each other's back. So, like, oh, no, man, you did this. I go, yeah, no, uncle, I ain't gonna do 'em. My best man was like also, no, again, me. We just kind of like have each other's back, and then all we get is like a warning, like, okay, don't do it again, you two. Oh, okay, and then basically like, oh, thank you, bro. I treat you to loco moco. But as long as we get as for me, as long as we got each other's back, we fine. We stay cherry, and yeah, basically, and then we come down back to loyalty and respect to each other, and knowing each other's boundaries and whatnot. So yeah.
I like that. How about you, Belle? Did you want to add anything to what you value most in friendship?
I mean, I just really agree with what you guys mentioned, really. Loyalty and mutual respect as well. You can be two different beings, of course. You don't have to share everything in common. And that's okay. So that means there's more dynamics in the friendship and you can learn from one another since you are more different from each other. So yes, differences are not a deal breaker when it comes to friendships because you can still be there for one another even though you're different. But yes, with that said, since we laid out what we look for in a friendship and in a friend, how do you maintain a friendship, Chanel?
That's a good question. Maintaining a friendship, to me, I've learned throughout the years, it's a good and long and lasting friendship. It's not very high maintenance, really. And it's also comes with a lot of understanding. The more you grow, life will be different for both of you. Whatever challenges you face, sometimes you may be very sad, and you might want to call your best friend, but they're not available because again, they also have their own life, their own issues to deal with. And as much as the best friend will do their best to be there for you, life is not that simple or that easy. So I think for a long and lasting friendship, understanding must be there first. Understanding and compassion for one another. And at the end of the day, I've experienced many times where I've searched for my best friend whenever I was feeling sad or angry or upset, but they weren't available. And I have never blamed them. I was never upset with them. Maybe in the moment, maybe in the times when I was younger and I didn't understand, I would get upset, like, why weren't you there for me when I needed you, kind of thing. But now as an adult, um, I can see that, like, they have their own life, and what's most important is whenever we are feeling sad, we should always call to God. We should always pray first, if anything, because you never know. And after all of the struggles that I went through, whenever my friends weren't able to be there for me, God was always there for me. And after, like, when He answered my prayers, my friends, they made up for it. They're able to be there for me at a different time. Because you never know, whatever God's plan for you, and your friendship, he'll always be there. Your friends will always be there for you, whether you want them to, but they'll be there when you need them. I think is what's the most important.
Yes. I love that you mentioned about God, because at the end of the day, a good friend really comes from God. And it's true that at the end of the day, although our friends have their own limitations, we have our own limitations as well. God is our ultimate best friend, right? So yes, I love that you mentioned that. And you know, um, I believe that in this day of age, maintaining a friendship, it's kind of easier, like, because we have so much technology at our hands that allow us to, stay engaged with one another through different platforms, through different ways. You can just call each other, and it's not like back in the day where you had to pay a lot of. I don't know how it worked, but yeah, you had to pay a lot for each minute. I don't know how that worked, but yes, nowadays it's just like one phone call or like one video call online, and you're already there for one another somehow. So yes, uh, I think nowadays it's much easier. Maybe, I don't know, but yes, for me at least, it's easier to stay connected with my friends, and I love that you accepted the fact that they have their own lives, and that's true. At the end of the day, each of us are going through um our own matters we're going through, and yes, as long as we are there for one another, that's the most important thing. But yes, here we have also another guest joining us. I don't know if he's ready, but hopefully he's gonna be ready soon with his camera. But yes, once he's ready, hopefully he'll be able to introduce himself. Mackley, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Mackley from Oslo, Norway, District of Northern Europe. Thank you for having me.
Give us a
Thank-
fun fact. Give us a fun fact about yourself, Mackley.
A fun fact:
Yeah.
I like to sing.
Oh,
Some,
I
simple,
don't think
simple.
that's fun. I don't think that's fun, but yeah.
fun fact. I asked him to perform in Barcelona last minute,
Wow.
and he got shy. So I think this is your time to sing now.
Oh, really? I'm not prepared for that. Okay. Oh, I'll see you later. Yes, I'll see you in a while. Yeah.
Wow!
Wow.
I
Hindi daw
just
prepared.
Hindi
Yeah,
na
we just
prepared.
practiced it yesterday, so I know some of the lyrics for TMV. So
Wow. You know, we were talking about what we were looking for in a friendship, and with that said, how do you maintain a friendship, Mackley?
I think you just have to stay in touch and make the effort, invest time, effort, and energy that you're able to connect with them, able to stay in touch, so that you can grow and build that bond together.
Wow, that's really true, and that's nice. And before you came in, I was talking about how we have so much technology at our hands that enables us to stay connected with one another, and that's really a great blessing. You know, it's much easier to look out for one another, and that's great. But yes, let's
I wanted
see.
I wanted to ask Mackley, since I'm surrounded by extroverts here on the panel. Mackley, are you an extrovert? Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert when it comes to, with people?
That's a good question, actually. I think I'm kind of both. I can adapt to it, but
Oh, okay.
naturally, I'm more of an introvert.
Okay. Well, because
You know,
I
my-
agree with what you said. I agree with
yeah.
what you said in terms of like when you're with maintaining friendships. Like for me, I think presence, being present
Mhm.
with your friends is very important, and the intention that you have, right? Like the intention of making time with making time to meet up or make to catch up with each other, scheduling some, events to go to or whatever like that. It's always nice because many times like for me, I feel that it's easier if we're in the same vicinity, right? If it's easy for me to sort of see you in person, then the friendship has a chance to blossom, right? To actually grow and to become stronger. But I feel like for me, being an introvert, like if unless you have the intention to keep on connecting if they're further away, the friendship doesn't become stronger than that. But I feel like the extroverts here on the panel won't agree with me because it's just like you have video calls, you have this, you have technology, you have the internet, you know. So that's why I think it's not just the presence or the vicinity of being around or near the person, but the intention of actually being intentional on building and keeping connected with them, whatever means possible. Would you agree with that, Chanel?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I have no complaints there.
Well,
Oh,
there you go. So I just want to quickly read before we continue on, though. Oh, I don't know if anyone else wanted to add anything, but there's a few in our live chat. Just want to give a quick shout out. We got Jordan Agustin, of course, there from Hawaii, saying aloha, happy viewing from Hawaii Pacific. Chanel, you know Jordan as well. You grew up with him.
Yes, I do. He's another big brother figure for me. Hi, hi, Kuya Jordan. Also,
Uh,
congrats on your wedding.
yes. And we've got Rod also adding here. He says, I maintain friendships with food, and his acronym for the word food, because Kuya Rod's always our acronym master here on the show. Food, friendships outlast other distractions. Right. So if you know food and you love food, then it's a nice way to maintain friendships. Always catching up for food. And Zenaida Navestero shares, I maintain a friendship through regular communication, spending quality time together, showing appreciation, offering support, and respecting boundaries. And Belle, why don't you go ahead and also read out a few of the greetings that we have there in our chat?
so we have here Brian Torres joining us saying, happy listening from Washington, D.C. Hello to my beautiful wife, Rose Ann, and to our beautiful daughter, Winley. And we also have Jazo Azurin Japones saying, greetings both from the Mediterranean. And we also have here a username saying MacM78, the official channel. Happy listening from Bayan Bayanan, district of Marikina. To all the support, friendship, spending time, some quality and full of excitement with experience. And yes, we also have here Jordan Agustin. So I think this is a reunion, like with all of
It
you
feels like
from
a reunion.
Hawaii. And I think like yeah, Auntie Des is also listening to us right now. So like all of you are just here. Oh, that's really lovely. But
And
that's also nice that everyone is joining us right now. And oh, we also have here Katna saying,
yes.
hi Ohana saying viewing from Sacramento, California. So thank you so much for joining us. But yes, uh, we still have a lot to unfold from this topic. So Jay, why don't you take it away and introduce the next few songs?
Yes, because when we do come back from our break, we're going to be talking about, the other side, right? We've been talking about friendships and how we maintain it, the things that we like. But we don't forget, like good friends, especially friends that comes from God, they call you out when you're doing wrong. And that's what we're going to talk about when we come back from our break. But the next two songs that we'll be listening to is titled Your Friend, and the second song, Hey Now. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
be right here listening. Hey, are you alright? You can tell me if you're not. I can help you when you're down. Be a friend that you need. You can share me anything. I will be right here listening. Life can be a piece of cake, but until it's not, don't let that ruin you. Face the world with a smile. Hey, are you still there? Hold my hand and we'll brave all these storms in our lives. Together we'll find a way. Always know that I'm here, a true friend who loves you dear. All those painful memories, forgive, forget. Make the most of what you have. Be grateful no matter what. Hey, you'll be okay. You are strong. Just believe everything will be okay. If you patiently wait, have a lot more faith. Believe you'll make it through. Hey now, what's making you feel down? I know the past is unchangeable. What else can we do but learn from it and avoid making the same mistake again?
Hey now, don't lash out in anger. You're hurt, but don't let it take you over. Don't plan a grudge in your heart. Letting go of hate is finding peace in a troubled world. Hey now, don't let pride win you over. You'll end up like those who hurt you. Instead, make peace, make amends. Forgiveness is something one can freely give. Hey now, don't be so ill-tempered. Take a deep breath and stay calm, my friend. You'll just hurt yourself by being bitter. Forgiveness is a sign that you've grown stronger. Hey now, don't let pride win you over. You'll end up like those who hurt you. Instead, make peace, make amends. Forgiveness is something one can freely give. Nobody's perfect, we've all done wrong and made mistakes. But all our wrongdoings our Father forgive. Don't think of the pain that makes you sad. Don't think of getting mad at those who hurt you bad. We were given hearts for a reason. Forgive and prove God's love to all men. Hey now, don't let pride win you over. You'll end up like those who hurt you. Instead, make peace, make amends. Forgiveness is something one can freely give. Hey now,
is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Mom.
Homework?
Kind of. It's a school project, and you have to present someone from LA we admire.
Celebrity time. Who's it gonna be? Actor, athlete?
You.
Cool.
Yeah. You work hard. You help out with everything around the house. You never complain. You just do what's right, even when no one's watching.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to. Just don't make me redo my project.
The world may celebrate stars, but the ones who shine brightest are not on screen. They're family. A message from INCRadio Los Angeles.
What makes a family strong? It's trust. Trusting that the family members will listen.
Hey, how's your day?
Pretty exhausting.
Come, let's eat. You can tell me all about it.
Honesty opens the door to understanding and closeness.
Is everything okay?
No, we're supposed to do a group presentation, but the other won't even help me.
Sometimes you need a lot of courage to say what you think or feel, but it's worth it. Try it.
When your children are honest about something sensitive, tell them how much you appreciate their honesty. Why do we keep reminding our children? Because we love them and we want them to grow up trusting our Almighty God.
Jay and Belle here on INC Radio's Faith and Melody with our friends. We've got Mackley, Chanel, and Manong Delmar here on the panel. And of course, every one of you that's been tuning in with us and sharing your insights as well. We really do appreciate it. But in this part of our discussion, we're asking the question, since we've talked about the things that we look for in friendships, the things that are important to us, loyalty, trust, honesty, transparency, right? Things like such as building friendships, maintaining through experiences and having each other's back. And that's a part that we want to get into, right? Because friendship doesn't just happen between two people. You have many friends. You have other people and your friends have friends and their friends have friends. And sometimes they all interconnect. And sometimes they don't all see eye to eye, right? So what happens when there is a time when you need to be called out because of a mistake or a problem, a misunderstanding, right? It's easy to tell someone you're always going to be there for them, that you're going to have their back. But have you ever had a friend correct you when you were doing something wrong? How did it feel? And how did it help you as well when your friend was the one that called you out and was the one that corrected you? Let's start with hear the thoughts from Mackley first. Has that ever happened to you, Mackley? Have you ever had a friend call you out when you did something wrong?
Yeah, a lot of times actually. And it turned pretty ugly pretty quickly. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I actually don't find it hurtful. I actually appreciate that they are able to be honest with me, and it makes me appreciate them more because it shows that they care about me and want me to improve, and they want to correct my mistakes for me to grow, for me to improve myself in different situations. So I actually don't feel necessarily hurt when it comes to that. So honestly, I really appreciate them if they're honest and doing that kind of thing to make me understand different perspectives.
Yeah, and it's something that happens like just between the two of you. Like did your friend like pull you off to the side and kind of just spoke to you like heart to heart almost, right? When to let you know that you did something wrong or you did this. Is that kind of like how it happened?
It hasn't happened to me yet, but it might be in the future. That kind of scenario, not really, but no, honestly, hasn't happened.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's something for me as well. I feel like I haven't had that experience yet
Mhm.
either. Like I haven't had a friend actually confront me or correct me. I've done the opposite, and we'll talk about that later on when we had to confront a friend and kind of like call them out for doing something. But how about you, Chanel? Has that ever happened to you where you had a friend correct you or kind of like call you out? So like, hey, why are you doing that? Kind of like, has that ever happened to you?
No, I'm like the perfect friend. I'm just kidding. But in all honesty, I'm the type of person actually who, um, like whatever happens to me, just kind of pretty much goes past me. Like I never really, I'm not one to be quick to hold grudges or be upset with anything. If anything, I've had friends that pulled me aside and called me out on not being assertive enough. Because sometimes at my worst, when I was younger, not so much now, I used to let people walk over me, like pretty much like a doormat. Because I'm just so, I don't know, like just so free spirited about things. So I just really like, oh yeah, whatever, just do whatever you need to. But there are times when I've been told by my best friend, like, hey, you need to be more assertive, you shouldn't let this happen to you. And I'm really glad that, I've had friends that told me, to pretty much step up. And it really helped me build the qualities I need to be the best person that I am. And I still pretty much use her advice till this day. So I'm grateful for friends that call you out on things that you need to improve on. Sometimes it may not be something that you're doing wrong, or you're doing bad to anybody, but something that could help improve you as a person.
You know, I value that as well, like having others giving you positive criticism on something, right? Because that's kind of like how I've seen my growth come. It comes through from like, constructive criticism, especially from a friend, because at least it comes with a caring voice and a caring heart when a friend does it. For me, it was Jem that actually brought one up for me. It was like my tone. Sometimes my tone doesn't come across kind, even though I don't mean anything by it. And she's the one that actually called me out on it. And it's like, hey, did you realize that when you say this, it kind of sounds rude or unappreciative, right? And it's just like, oh, I'm just saying it as I say it, like normally. So because of that, like even though initially I couldn't believe that my tone was actually sounding that bad, but then it's not like I actually listen to myself into like how I say things. So it did help definitely when she called that out because I am now more aware and more conscious of that habit that I've had and I've been able to change it and been working on it. So I feel like she says I've gotten better as well with that. And I think that's important that when a friend or a loved one does that for you and they kind of like help you to find a way for you to improve, right? Belle, has that something that's ever happened to you as well? Being called out by a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think the
You've got a
guys
big family, right?
people here are like, oh, it's so mabait. I'm joking. Of course, yeah, of course they are. I mean, I'm not pasaway, but but yes, yeah, that happened. I mean, I have my family to do that. Of course, I've got like four siblings. I've got two sisters and two brothers. So yeah, it happens a lot, but it's different when it comes from your family because the boundaries are different. But when it comes to an actual friend trying to correct you, it's it's different in a way where you feel vulnerable because you you feel like, oh, I feel this vulnerable only with my family. So when a friend calls you out like that, not in a bad way, it can be like a good way, like Chanel shared earlier that she wasn't assertive enough, or like she wasn't she wasn't setting the boundaries for herself to protect herself. For me, it's kind of the same as well. Either I did a bad thing or not. Um, when someone when a friend of mine corrects me and it hurts, they still give me the hard truth, and they're not brutal about it. They're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna hurt, but I'm gonna tell you like genuinely, blah 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 and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's better to hear it from them, and not in a way where it's rude, because you can be honest, right? But you can be brutally honest without being brutal about it, so yes, I did feel vulnerable, of course. So yeah, I had to certain times I had to have time to process things, but that only shows that God really used them as an instrument to, better myself and to go through that situation. So yes, at the end of the day, a friend's correction is really a blessing. It's a good sign, instead of them letting you be and going on the wrong path. That's even worse. That means they don't care about you. So that means that they do care about you. So if they do approach you or try to correct you in different ways, for me, sometimes it does hurt, but at the end of the day, you have to accept it. So it's up to you if you want to change or not.
It's a good reminder that if they didn't care, then they won't say anything, right?
Yeah.
But I think the great thing to take away from that is that if you have a friend, somebody that cares about you, cares about the friendship and you as a person, they'd call you out if there was something wrong or something unbecoming like that you were doing, right? Especially of who you are as a person, the values that we hold. But let's go with the opposite side of it. Like I know that that's important that we have friends that calls us out. We're a friend to somebody too, right? So I'll see if I can call on Manong Del on this one. If he has ever approached a friend or called them out to correct a friend because they were doing something wrong. Is that something that you've done, Manong Del, where you had to call out or correct someone that's your friend because they were doing something that's not supposed to be done?
Oh yeah, multiple times. um, it was like just like you said, like for you, your tone, like you said, your tone. Sometimes my tone doesn't kind of like if they cannot take it wrong, or it's like, oh, so and so said this, and like maybe he's trying to help you. I didn't like the way how he talked, stuff like that, and I just just try to help, or I just joke around sometimes, but just call him. I try to call him out in a fun way, just but sometimes they take it the wrong way, and I kind of and then it takes one of their friends or somebody to let me know what I said, and if then hurt them, kind of like, oh, I didn't mean that way, so I would have to, which I contact them and I apologize, but there are times where some of my friends are, oh, thank you for letting me know, and me being a choir leader, something I call up the choir, like, okay, you guys cannot be doing this, you cannot be doing that, or I pull them to the side and be like, bro, you cannot do this, or sister, you cannot do this while performing, it's being noticed by so and so and whatnot. So, but yeah, one of those friends that called me out a couple of times too was Chanel. That's why we're close, and I see her as my one of my close sisters over here. So um even like with Erica too. I think we had like our own spat a couple of times, but it brought us, yeah, I get respect for them. I love them. I enjoy their time, and that brought us, close. And all this calling out each other doesn't mean like they don't like you. They're trying to help you and help you recognize whatnot. To make sure you do good, all good things. Yeah.
Well, why do you think that when you have that spat with your friend, right? Like why do you think there are certain friendships that become stronger and others might get, doesn't become as strong? Like what makes those type of friendships become stronger when you go through arguments or through spats like that?
Kind of like you kind of start to understand each other, where they're coming from, when they're understanding you, and then okay, it's kind of like just start to understand each other more and kind of start to respect what they say, listen more. Of course, you may not talk for a couple of days, but like, you know what, the, we've been through it. We've been through these hard times. Our friendship will go stronger. So no matter what come across the way, we can face it together and whatnot.
How about you, Mackley? Have you ever had to do something similar where you had to approach one of your friends and let them, basically have kind of a hard conversation with them about something that they're doing wrong?
For me, actually, I'm not that serious kind of person. So when it comes to
Mm.
those situations, I don't approach them in that kind of serious tone. So I kind of hint them at a like a joking kind of way, like jokingly.
Yeah.
So not like direct. And as long as I kind of encourage them, make sure that I are honest about my intentions, they understand that I'm just trying to do what's best for them and try to guide them in a certain way that they know what the right thing to do.
Yeah, I do feel as well, kind of like coming from like someone that likes to analyze things a lot, that it's very important that you're careful your approach with people, not like friends, but also like people in general, but especially with friendships, because those hard conversations that you need to have with your friends, especially if it's got to do with something that they're doing, right? That's sort of unbecoming. It's always got to be handled with care, right? It's a bit of a fragile situation when you do that. You got to take care of it and make sure that you're coming from a place of like of love, of care, that because you care about them. Like what Belle said earlier, you do it because you care, not because if you didn't care about them, then you just let them keep on doing what they're doing, right? It's just like, I don't care, just whatever, and I won't say anything, right? Um, Belle, or did you want to add anything to this part?
For me, depending on the situation, there is a different approach for everything. And, each person, like you mentioned earlier, that like certain friendships survive the hard conversation, and other friendships, like, kind of dissipate, and you just feel more distant after that episode. So for me, you just, as long as you're respectful to the other person and your intentions are clear towards them, then there shouldn't be much room for misunderstanding. But having a one-to-one is way better than like correcting them in person, of course. So yes, of course, trying to put them aside, of course, and understanding them before jumping into the conclusion that they did something wrong, like intentionally, or you know they wanted to do that on purpose. Instead of like jumping to those negative conclusions, try to reason with them, try to understand their point of view, so that it gets much lighter for both of you, because it's hard to correct someone without uh, hurting them, and it's also hard to get some criticism from a loved one, especially if you know that's gonna hurt. So yes, as long as you both have respect for each other, and you try to see each other's point of view, then that's all that matters when it comes to dealing with um, a misunderstanding, or trying to call out a friend when they are going on the wrong path. So yes,
Yeah.
um, that's
I
all
think
I
I
can.
think it's like a balancing act, right, Belle? Like it's like depending on what the situation is or what it is exactly that you're calling them out on, it can be done in either a jokingly kind of like subtle way and just like, hey, should you really be doing that kind of thing, and just sort of like insert that in everyday conversation. And other ones where it's a little bit more serious and then a bit more like requires the careful handle with care kind of approach, then that requires kind of like putting them to the side, have a quiet moment, maybe just catch up, just you two, have coffee first, and then like kind of have a heart to heart conversation on what it is, and kind of like express that you're worried about them or whatever, um, on whatever they're doing. With that, I just want to quickly give a chance for, we've got a few insights and comments from our Ohana there in our live chat. So Belle, why don't you go ahead and give them a quick shout out and just read some of those out.
So joining us today, there's also Lani saying hello po, Faith MLD Ohana, and also Doc Sayango saying greetings po from the locale of Cabanatuan, district of Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija. And yes, here Zenaida Rivera said, possible negative feelings, annoyance or frustration when my friend correct me, but it helps me to be tougher. And it's true. Sometimes it does get uncomfortable when it comes to that. But, uh, there needs to be hard conversations in life. But yes, here our care said here, best to be honest, correct out of love with pure intentions, and let them know you are always with them by their side. And Rod Kahayag here said, having a true friend is keeping it real and nurturing the relationship devotedly. True friend, he wrote here an acronym. True friend, testifying rightness uniquely every time. For realness is expected, nurturing devotion. And he also wrote here, friends fight for you, respect you, include you, encourage you, need you, deserve you, and stand by you. So do everything with love. And here, Caroline Shank also added, bestie, better every time, smile together in everything. That's also a cute acronym. But yes, I really love how everyone shared their point of view in this one. And when it comes to uncomfortable or hard conversations, it's a sensitive topic, So I'm glad that everyone was able to give their advice about that. But before we continue on with our topic today, since we are on Faith and Melody, after all, we will be playing for you another set of songs. So the first one is Take Care and Love Our Good Friends. And the second one is Make You Smile. So sit back, relax, and we'll be right back here on Faith and Melody. Okay, Tech, if you could kindly play those songs for us, that'd be great. Thank you.
Otherwise, we have to ask Mac Lee or Bell to sing again and the air guy. I don't know if they're ready for that, but yes. Yeah. If our architects are ready with those two songs again, what were they called, Bell? Take Care
and Love Our Good Friends and Make You Smile.
So much fun when you have someone that you can count on. It is great to have good friends, they are a gift from God. Sometimes our friends commit mistakes, cause nobody's perfect. But we should care for them and help them change and learn to be patient. Always be good, always be kind to everyone. Always be polite, cause this is the way God wants us to be. Take care of and love our friends. It's so much fun when you have someone that you can count on. It is great to have good friends, they are a gift from God. Keep it in your heart and in your mind, the right thing we must do. Wherever you go, whatever you do, and you will have good friends with you. Always be good, always be kind to everyone. Always be polite, cause this is the way God wants us to be. Take care of and love our friends. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Whenever I look up to the clear blue sky, I think of you and I can't help but smile. 'Cause just like the warm rays of the sun, you comfort my soul and cheer me up. So I thank you, Lord God, for all that you do, for keeping me safe in your mighty hands. And now I make this promise to you, I'll keep all of your commands. I believe and trust in you. As I grow up, I will follow you. I belong to you, Lord God. I'll be a good child and make you smile. You're like the sun that breaks through my cloudy skies, like the moon that cuts through the darkest nights. I know if I follow your shining light, I'll be strong enough to win the toughest fights. So I thank you, Lord God, you're always there for me. My hope is in you, my confidence too. I want to make you proud of me. With you, the world won't frighten me. I believe and trust in you. As I grow up, I will follow you. I belong to you, Lord God. I'll be a good child and make you smile. I'll do anything and everything to make you happy. I will strive to always be obedient. I will live to honor and please you. I believe and trust in you. As I grow up, I will follow you. I belong to you, Lord God. I'll be a good child and make you smile. I hope I can make you smile.
Well, so we talked about what we look for in a friend and the various things that we look for in a friendship as well. And, through ups and downs, there will be misunderstandings. And we also shared how we handle them as well. So, with that said, what's an advice that you could give when it comes to building a strong and meaningful and even supportive friendship? Nowadays, as I mentioned earlier, there's many ways for you to do so, especially if you are living away from each other. So yeah, let's see. Mackley, would you like to share?
Yeah, I think you just have to be genuine. The best friendships are those that are honest, genuine, and that you're able to be comfortable with each other's presence. So, like, having that comfort that you can find towards a person, towards a friend, that will always be the thing that you will stick to, that will make you stay, and that will be the best thing to build a strong and healthy friendship.
Yeah, I can agree with that because at the end of the day, when you do choose a friend, like uh, you need to really care for one another and uh, and being genuine as well. And for me, also, an advice like to build a strong and meaningful friendship is, to show up, especially when it matters, right? You don't have to be there all the time because, of course, you have your own life as well. So when it comes to showing up to their milestones, like cheering up for them and celebrating their wins, even if they're small. Each win does count. For me, it just makes the difference because um, usually when we are trying to attain, I don't know, our dreams or goals and aspirations in life, it's just scary. So when you do have a good set of friends and even your family, of course, to cheer up for you, that really um, can boost your confidence. And for me, yeah, you just need to be more intentional with spending time with them, because at the end of the day, time is something that when you do invest time with on someone or onto something, it's something that you can't get in return. Like material things can always go back to you, even though you sell them or leave them or throw them away. You can always get something new. But when it comes to time, it's something that it's priceless because you can never get it back. So for me, being more intentional with your time and spending quality time with your friends and loved ones. But yes, with that said, Jay, would you like to share an advice regarding maintaining and building a strong friendship?
I don't know if I'm the best person to to ask about that. I don't have many friends, but like I have a lot of acquaintances and people that I know of. But in terms of like close friends, like I said at the beginning of the show, I can count them like just in one hand, like the really close ones that I could really trust completely and everything. But I think looking at that, I think I mentioned earlier the importance of it's nice when you have aligned values and also you share similar passions. But thinking about that now, I think that you don't need to share similar passions to be friends with someone, right? Or to be able to build a strong, supportive friendship with a person. Like, for example, if the person really is passionate about music or musical instruments, but you're not. Like, does that mean that you won't be friends? And I don't agree with that now, like just thinking about it. But if you're a friend that is supportive, like you cheer them on, like if they're going through something that they're celebrating because of that, they achieve something. Like, for example, Belle performed in a big choir, big in front of so many people because she loves music. But I'm not really into music, but I'm there to support her. Like I'm there to cheer her on. I'm there to congratulate her. I think that is the stepping stone towards building a meaningful and supportive friendship. Even though you don't share the same passions, you're there to cheer them on. You're there for the other person, especially in their milestone events of they have in their life, right? But on the other side, if they're also having a hard time or a challenging time in that passion or in anything else, you're still there, right? You're there to support them and to show that they're not alone, right? You may not know what to do, you may not know what to say to your friend, but just the fact that you're there saying, "Hey, I'm here thinking about you or praying for you," um, yeah, then I'll be able to that's kind of like this again, the stepping stone to show that strong relationship that you have with your friend. And I think that's part of what we said earlier. It's important for us to be transparent. I think it was clear, Rod, there in the chat that says transparency or being honest is very, very important. And that comes through with trust, right? You can't be honest or transparent with a person if you don't trust them or if they don't trust you. Like it works both ways. Like friendship in general is between two people. So it's give and take, right? It's not all about just one person giving everything to the friendship, and then the other person doesn't give anything back, right? So there has to be a mutual respect with each other, and you have to build that transparency and that honesty to build that friendship. And like what we said earlier, the importance of just being present. Our architects actually asked the question if there's a difference with different friends, and I think there are different friends, right? Well, like there's different levels of friendship, right? And I think that comes to the level of like just as a work friend or like someone that you see at work and then that's it, and then someone that you're always hanging around with and they're always like family. Do you have something like that? You guys have examples like that? Like Mackley, do you have like someone that you would consider as a friend, but only in this setting, like only at work or when you're at this place, they're your friends. But then outside of that, you don't really hang out, right? You're only friends there. But then you have this other friend, like you're always with them and you're always just like contacting or messaging, and you're always just like, do you have like those type of friendships? Like there's different levels, right, of friendships?
Yeah, I get what you mean. And in all honesty, I have friends, but I don't have that kind of level. I'm not that kind of person that likes to communicate all the time because I like
Hmm.
to be in my own space, if you know what I mean. So like I'm comfortable being with myself, being with my family, and not having to like expose myself too much, like I'm being too outgoing. So I kind of like to be alone actually sometimes, just being in my own peace of mind, having to find a time to think and reflect and not always be around people. But obviously you have to value that as well, having that kind of bonding with your friends at work, at church.
Yeah.
And I always value that.
Yeah, I'm in the same kind of category as you. Like I preferred that. I preferred being alone, thinking. And the only reason why I am a little bit more outgoing and making more friends is because of Jem, right? Because of my wife, kind of like pushing me out there, out of my comfort zone. But I think she's like my best friend. So if it's just Jem and I together, and that's it. Like I'm happy with that. I'm cool with that. She's pretty much like you would consider as like with my family. You got my wife, my daughter. I'm good, right? But there are others. I do, like I said, I've got a couple. I can count in one hand. Some other people that I could go to and vent. And I've mentioned it before. Like these friends that we had, we actually ended up going to Japan together as like a trip, right? And we all went together to Japan and we explored and everything else. And they're that type of people. They're practically family, right? Like they can come over whenever. We don't see them that often, but whenever we do see them, it's like as if it was only just yesterday that we saw them. You know what I mean? So, but my circle of what I would call my close friends, uh, very tiny. Maybe like three people, three other people. That would be part of my family. But yeah, before Gem, I was like you, Mackley. I was like I really did value just um, you know being by myself and kind of just like in my own thoughts and thinking, and apart from my family members as well, it's nice, it's quiet. You don't have the drama of having to deal with other people's drama. Right? Because I feel like with friendship, whatever they're going through and then they tell you about it, you take on a little bit of that vibe, of that energy. Like if they're going through some stuff and they tell you, it's just like, oh, okay, now I have to process this a little bit as well. Like that. But how about you, Belle? Any other advice that you can share with making building supportive and meaningful friendships?
Yeah. When it comes to being intentional, like choose people who choose you, because I know that you just mentioned, guys, that you like your own space, and that's normal. And that's good, because I was like I'm a homebody. Like in comparison to my siblings, I'm a homebody. Okay. But like because they tend to like spend a lot more time with their friends when they can and all that stuff. And we're also really busy with like church endeavors and stuff. So yeah, in the few times that we do have time for ourselves, like I usually am on my own or like in my own space here at home. So yeah, like I totally understand. But I also like to crave like my friends company and all that stuff. So for me it's just like 50-50. So yeah, I do enjoy my own company, and I still do enjoy like my close friends company, which is why I said to choose the people who choose you as well, because the right people will never make you feel drained. And even though you go through turmoils or like through ups and downs, like because that's normal, at the end of the day you are two different individuals. For me is like 1 minute with them you can already feel refreshed, like 1 minute with them, even though like you haven't seen each other in so long. 1 minute with them, like make the difference. So yeah, the right people will never make you feel drained. They will make you feel relieved and even energized, depending on the person. But yes, and they will always add on to your happiness. That's what I want to add as well. Because
Oh,
yeah, when it
yeah.
comes to building a strong and supportive like system that you have, like your closest friends, you don't have to have a lot of people, because at the end of the day, uh, quality over quantity, right? So yeah, it's okay if you have only a few, as long as they are your people and they're like um your strongest connections that you have so far, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. And
Quality, right? Quality matters.
quality matters, because on the long run you want to have someone who has got your back. You want to
Mm.
have someone who you can rely on, you who can correct you when you're blinded by your emotions, or like your judgment is blinded by your emotions or other factors. So if you don't have someone like that in your life, then you're still gonna find someone who will be there for you, whether it's now or like later on. At the end of the day, as long as you keep praying, of course, because at the end of the day, even in the song they mentioned it. I think is like what make you happy, something like that. They said, um, a true friend comes from God. So that's true. And each friendship that we have in our life right now, it is from God. There is always a reason why we meet someone, or why our Lord God led someone in our lives. So yes, um, always be prayerful. And one of the biggest love languages for me is praying for my friends and my family. So yes, that's the biggest way to, build a strong friendship.
I love that. I love, I love everything that you just said. Especially the quality part and choose your friends that choose you. It's true though. What you did, the only thing that I'm gonna add there is that, as we grow up, the people that show the most love and care for us, especially when we're like sort of straying away from what's good and what's good for us, is our loved ones, generally our parents. So when we're older, right? And sometimes we might be away from our parents, or we may not have our parents anymore at a time in our lives, right? It's important that we have the right people surrounding us, the right people that will speak up, like not just speak up for us, but also speak to us, and kind of like tell us when things aren't looking right for us, because they show that love and care. So it's important. Like I mentioned this as well to Belle, like when we were preparing for this topic, that before, when I was younger, I had like a few more friends, like if you think about high school and that sort of thing. But now I have less, but the quality is higher, like so much more higher. Like there are really people that are dependable, that I can really count on, that will really be there for me. And if things aren't going right, I know that they'll show up. It's kind of like that. There may be less of them, but they're like highest quality. And I think that's the most important. Would you rather be surrounded with with friends who just won't be there when you really need them, or just like but you have a lot of friends, or would you rather have like just a couple of friends but they're there no matter what, right? So I think the quality is really really important. So yeah, that's good. That I don't know if Mackley, did you want to add anything else in terms of that, especially in terms of friendships, like you and I, especially at when I was a little bit younger, we had less friends. We like to be by ourselves, but the friends that we did have, right, and the ones that we really did cherish, how did you think that friendship strengthened your faith? Because many times a lot of our closer friends have the same Christian values that we uphold. Like, how do you think the right friendships can help to strengthen your faith?
It really gives you kind of a character development. You get inspired by seeing your friends that you've known for a long time, that they're still active, they're still diligent in their duties in the church, and that makes you think, or makes you feel that you want to even more be active. You want to even be even more like firm in your faith.
Mm.
And with God's help through prayers, and that especially we share the same faith, you always feel encouraged to all the more be active, and to unite with all the church endeavors that is going on in church.
Yeah. And especially if they do that, you know that their advice, their friendly advice comes from a place of, of Christian values, right? It comes from a place where we kind of like share the same thing and know what's right and wrong and like what we need to do. So I love that. That's a great point when it comes to friendship. Having the right people, because they always say the people that you surround yourself with, their habits, their mannerisms, and even their values, their point of view rubs off on you a little bit, right? Like just a little bit, not completely, but you take on some of their habits. So you have to be really mindful on who you're allowing in your presence, right? Because whatever it is, and even many of us, our friend is our smartphone, our mobile phone. We follow people on social media. We follow people on the news or TV shows and things like that, right? And we go down a rabbit hole because like, oh yeah, I really like this actor, or this person, or this influencer. You got to be careful with that because again, there's a lot of content out there from things, and whatever that is also becomes a part of the narrative that we take on, right? Those habits, those mannerisms, those point of view. You got to be careful on what you're allowing. So having the right friends, the good friends that comes from God, that gives you the corrections when you need it, that calls you out when you're doing wrong, they're the ones that really helps to level up your faith, especially for us members of the Church of Christ. With that, I'm going to read a few more of this final part of our discussion. I'm going to read some of the comments in our live chat before we wrap up our discussion, because I think we really had a nice discussion today about friendship, especially for me, and I guess maybe Mackley as well, when it comes to since we don't really have that many friends, right? We find it one of our areas of our lives where we're working on even more. But we know at least we have a couple of really good friends. I think that's what's most important. Carolyn Shank here says in the live chat, patience and love, communication and honesty, daily checkups, and be real. Always be readily available and be their personal cheerleader. Most especially, pray for each other. Very great points, all of those. And I like that little bit there. Be the personal cheerleader, right? Imagine you had someone that's always there to cheer you on. We all need that every now and then in our life. Somebody that sends you a text message, sends you a meme or something to cheer you up to start your day. Rod says, be real, loving, laughter. And I love what he asks here. I would say keep friendship simple and encourage each to do everything for God, to please Him, simple like the ABCs. And he actually has an acronym for A, B, C, D, E, F, G. He actually has an acronym for this, which is always be Christians doing everything for God. I love that acronym. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Always be Christians doing everything for God. And one last one, from Zenaida Navesteras, true friend, advice to have a strong and supportive friends. Be focused on being a good friend yourself. This involves active listening, empathy, and being there for them during both good and bad times, right? Be there, be present. And I love that reminder from Zenaida Navesteras. And yes, that is our topic for today. And but I'll go ahead and pass the mic over to Belle just to read our Christian value and if she has any final words, I guess.
Well, I hope that, with this topic, each and one of us got something out of it. And, we have new ways to make friends now, especially from our kickoff chat earlier. But yes, at the end of the day, true and good friends will bring you closer to God and will always cheer for you, but also call you out when you are doing something wrong. And with that said, we hope that this has really brought you much more inspiration and much more confidence in making friends. And yes, shall we go on to our next segment, Jay?
Yes. Again, thank you to everyone. Hopefully, you've all enjoyed this conversation that we've had, and as well as sharing this conversation with our friends. We had Erica, Chanel, we had Manang Del, and of course, we got Mackley here as well. But before we wrap up everything, of course, we've got our final segment, which is our verse of the week. And our verse of the week this week here on Faith and Melody is titled Signs of a True Friend. So let's all take a listen to this.
Hello, everyone. These days, people use social media to connect with others and even to establish meaningful friendships. This proves how important relationships, especially friendships, are to all of us. But which are the true friends worth keeping? I'm Brother Neil Omelda, and that's what we'll answer in our verse of the week. Let's read what is recorded here in Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 6, and we're reading it from the Voice translation. Wounds inflicted by the correction of a friend prove he is faithful. The abundant kisses of an enemy show his lies. Which friends are worth keeping? The faithful ones. The ones who are willing to help you by giving sound advice. They even correct you, help you if you make mistakes. They are the ones who will disagree with you if what you're doing, thinking, saying, or what you're about to do is wrong and will lead you down the wrong path. On the other hand, who are not good friends? Well, those who lie. They will tell you sweet lies you want to hear, instead of the ugly truth that you need to hear. Beware of them, for the Bible describes them as enemies and not friends. So choose the good friends who will help build you up. And once you find them, hold on to them and be a good friend to them, just as you want them to be a good friend to you. To our friends, we continue to invite all of you to join us in our Bible studies and in our worship services, and even visit our website at incmedia.org to learn more about the Church of Christ. That's our verse for the week. Stay safe, stay strong, stay faithful. God bless.
Thank you to Brother Neil for that great reminder and message to take with us for our week ahead. And yes, Mackley, do you have any greetings or shout outs?
Shout out to my family here in Oslo, to my brother Miko, and also feel free to watch our INCRadio, our new satellite studio, every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Mackley, for joining us as well. And Jay, do you have any greetings as well?
I just want to give a quick shout out to my best friend, which is my wife, Jem, and of course to our daughter Lena, and to everyone that joined us there in our live chat. But of course to Mackley here that's joined us on our today's broadcast, Chanel earlier with Erica, and also Manang Delmar. If they're still listening, thank you so much for joining us as well earlier. And to everyone, make sure that if you have that special friend or that someone that's in your life, make sure you let them know that that you value them as well. Like, give them a message or a chat or catch up with them, right? Make sure that you work on your friendship and spend a little bit of time connecting with each other. Belle, over to you.
Yeah, I would also like to greet my family, my mom, Aterica, Arian, Samsam, and Dandan, and our guest for today. It really shows that even though we're from each other, you can still show up for someone. And with that said, also shout out to Aterica for producing today's topic. She wrote this topic, so yeah, that's why we were able to have so many people as well, thanks to her. And also thanks to our technical team there, our brothers in the main studio, Nico and Irene, to our sister Des Asenas and brother Edwin Asibuke, and our brother Wally Tarai, our INC radio station manager. And of course, special thanks to our executive minister, there's brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and the deputy executive minister, brother Angelo Eranio Manalo. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Belle from the United Kingdom.
And I'm Jay from Australia, and we have been your hosts for today's broadcast. We hope today's episode has given you a positive start to your week ahead. And to close off our episode, we'll be listening to My Rightful Friend. Next, tomorrow's topic of Faith and Melody, take care, put it there in the live chat, genuine language of love. So make sure you tune into that as well. And join us again for the rest of the week here on INC Radio's Faith and Melody. Until then, take care, everyone. Have a great start to your week. Bye for now.
Bye. Take care.